I was married before, and that was a tricky situation because I got sober halfway through the marriage. So when I first was married, I was using. She wasn't an addict or an alcoholic, I was. So I was incredibly erratic and badly behaved and just a nightmare to live with. I was off the rails in my first marriage. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my little series on the 12 steps of recovery. Now this week I wanted to touch on relationships in recovery because we dropped the birth series and there's been a lot of incredible comments about our relationship, and I'm really humbled and really makes me feel really warm and nice inside to think that you guys have said, you know, we're so supportive and we treat each other nicely. And I don't think that would have been possible if we both weren't in recovery, actually. And if we both were using, I don't think that the relationship we have now would have been possible, because we really do support each other in our recovery. And what's great about myself and Laura, we do connect on a deep level, like you could say a spiritual level in a way, because of the program, because we both have very similar spiritual principles that guide our lives, and we try to live by the 12 steps, both of us. And I think that really helps, and it really helps communication. And I think the 12 steps as it relates to relationships is an amazing toolkit to use in your relationship with your partner. I know that it comes in very handy for me if I'm resentful, or if we have an argument. I'm not very good at letting things go after an argument. I'll spend a long time holding on to resentments and stuff, and I know that the 12 steps teach me to quickly apologize and quickly let go. Also, just being on the same page at such a fundamental level is really important, and I think it's really helped us build a really strong relationship. I also wanted to discuss, I've had a few questions about relationships in recovery. Now, I was married before, and that was a tricky situation because I got sober halfway through the marriage. So when I first was married, I was using. We were both using. She wasn't an addict or an alcoholic, I was. So I was incredibly erratic and badly behaved and just a nightmare to live with. I was off the rails in my first marriage, completely insane. You know, I was in my 20s. I had a successful career in music, and I was off the rails. I was completely uncontrollable, and I feel bad about that. I feel like she went through a lot, and then I got sober and our dynamic completely changed. So we got together in one dynamic, and then when I got sober, I completely changed into a different person. And I'd hear people say, don't have a relationship in your first year of sobriety. And I was like, well, I'm in a relationship. How's that going to work for me? And it's tricky because you start off with someone and then that person changes. So I'm going to say, although it may be a bit controversial, I agree with the no relationships in the first year of recovery, because you've got to get to know yourself and learn yourself, and you're going to change. You're going to be a completely different person when you get into recovery. You're going to be a completely different person when you start doing the steps. It's a life-changing experience, and you're not the same at the end of it. So I just wanted to touch on the fact that when I first got sober, I was told no relationships until you get a sense of who you are, and I feel like that was valuable insight. And if you're out there struggling, or if you're wondering about, should I get into a relationship now or should I wait? I'd say wait that year and find someone who complements you, and maybe you have a similar spiritual cornerstone to the way you live. And I found that's to be amazing with Laura, and that's been an incredible thing. We've both come from a 12-step foundation. So if one of us is going off the rails, the other one can say, wait, what about this step? What about that step? And that's really helped us build this really strong relationship. So I wanted to touch on that this week. I'm sorry if it's a bit all over the place. I was going to make a video about something else, and I just was getting these comments about our relationship, and I thought I really want to address this on a video. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Are you in a relationship? If you just nearly got sober, are you trying to abstain from relationships in your first year, like a lot of people say? It's a tricky one, isn't it? Let me know what you are dealing with. Relationships and sobriety is an interesting topic. I love you guys. Next week, let's talk about something else. Everything's good here. The baby's settling in nicely. She started to sleep. She slept for 3 hours and 4 hours. 3 and 4 hour stretch last night. So we actually slept. Hooray! So I feel a little bit more with it. I love you guys, and I'm going to speak to you next week.